What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Value TV show, where we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. That's right, tools to build and have healthy relationships. I am Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. And today we are doing an episode called Jamel, I Have Questions, where my guests come on and they ask me several questions centered around relationships. Today I have this amazing man, Mr. Victor, the owner, the founder of Transcending Tea. What's going on, man?
How you doing today, man? I'm happy to be here, man.
How you feeling, bro?
I can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. So before we even start, you give the people a brief bio of what you do, what you're doing out here.
Okay, my name is Victor. I am a purveyor of fine teas at this particular point. I help create and not necessarily prescribe, but get people the types of flavors and benefits they need out of the beverages that they're drinking. So to some degree, I am a herbalist, but to others, I'm just a person that enjoys something that helps other people enjoy what they like as well.
Okay, I wish I had some fresh tea.
I wish I had some tea to bring with it. We could have been drinking tea. We have to do better.
Next time.
Next time.
Okay, so you got some questions. And it's always great when I have a guy on to ask the questions, because typically there's women coming on asking the questions. So when the men come on to ask questions, I believe it's amazing, because then there's other guys that are watching and listening. Okay. And I believe it benefits them and gives them some great tools.
Sure. I mean, of course, we have to have the dialogue from both sides, so I understand. I have one question I did want to start off with for you today. What advice would you give to young men and young women about finding their roles in the relationships?
The advice I would give to young men and young women about finding their roles in relationships is seek out, let me not use the word seek, find wise counsel.
Okay.
For a young man, find another man that you can see as a stand-up guy.
Okay.
And ask questions.
Okay.
About relationships. And let that begin to define who you are and who you're going to become.
Okay.
Now, of course, I would want you to also connect back to God and connect back to your creator of your life. But ultimately finding another man. And for that young woman, finding another woman, an older woman, right, who is more seasoned at life, have some experience, and can give you some definition as to who you are becoming as a young lady and transitioning into becoming a woman. Because a lot of times young men and young women, they don't have that. They don't have a lot of examples. Right. And not just an example, but an ensample. And what do I mean by that? Somebody that also, what they walk out in the public, they live in the private.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that was a big question for me, because on the internet today, you see a lot of people talking about roles and how they try not to use the normal traditional roles to define a relationship. And so at this particular point, I just wanted to know what that looks like.
Yeah, and I think we live in a society now where roles are changing.
Okay.
But I still believe we should seek and find older men and older women to get some advice from. There's some of the traditions we don't need to throw away. Right. We need some of those old traditions in our new traditions,
Yeah.
Just mixing it and balancing it and making sure it's proper.
That's actually interesting that you brought that up. That actually goes to another question I had. What do you think are some positive habits that the younger generations of relationships are practicing that the older generations might look at and be like, I don't think so, but they're working?
I believe their ability to be free.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that? Let's just say you have and not to say that this was not done with our older generation, sure, but the ability that the younger generation has is so beautiful, is that to be free. Meaning, let's give an example. They may be in the grocery store, and he just decides to grab her, or she decides to grab him, and they're like, we're gonna dance right here on aisle 9. Right. Like nobody's looking, we don't even care. Right. That freedom of just being free and breaking the rules in that moment for the passion of love. I think that's the beautiful thing I see. Okay,
that's actually beautiful to call out, actually. And so with that, it does also flow into another question I have, and I want to see if you could, by percentages, what do you value more in the longevity and success of a relationship? Would it be service to one another, or is it each other's happiness?
I would say service to one another, because I believe as we're serving one another, by default, our happiness increases. if I'm just trying to make you happy, and happiness is based on happenstance.
Right.
So if something's not going well and you're not happy in that moment, then it goes away.
Right.
But if I'm serving you from the point of gratitude and that I just honor you and I love you and I adore everything about you, that means even if it's not a happy moment, I'm still going to serve you.
Okay.
If it's just all about making you happy, then if things aren't going right, then I'm not going to do anything. You know?
I do.
I'm just trying to make you happy. Here goes some flowers to make you happy, but if you piss me off, I'm not bringing you the flowers.
Right.
But if I'm here to have a level of servitude towards you, you made me mad, but I'm still bringing these flowers.
That's actually very interesting. So how do you find middle ground on that? Because I know like there's going to be some people out there that are saying, listen, I'm not sure if I can do that while I'm upset, or, you know, is that person's happiness my number one thought process at that moment? Like how do you find middle ground on pushing through on something like that?
It's not going to be easy. Although we're talking right now and people may listen or watching and be like, oh, he makes it seem like it's so easy. It's not going to be easy. It's something that you have to continually train your mind to think this way and your heart to believe this way.
Sure.
This isn't something that I adopted overnight and said, oh, I got it together. It's a constant training of my mind. Like, you know, you're going to push forward.
Sure.
You're going to push forward. And then also understanding that the partner that I have, or the partner that you have, or anyone has, they should not be the only person to define my level of joy and happiness. Meaning if they don't do something in a particular day, my day should not go down the drain, or I shouldn't be sad, or I shouldn't be like, oh my God, I don't feel good because he didn't kiss me in the morning, or she didn't do this for me, you know?
Okay.
Because it's not based on that. Now, is it gonna be easy? No. But at the same time, as I said, it's a constant training my mind and my heart to think and believe that way.
Yes.
You know, and if I understand my level of joy, my happiness is not solely coming from them, that right there alleviates a lot of frustration.
I can see that.
A lot of couples have built this dependency on, man, she's my all in all. Yes, that's true, but if she doesn't perform a certain way, you should still be happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Well then, I guess, would you think that for a healthy relationship, y'all have to cherish that to the same amount? Is that something that a person could grow into, or is that like automatically a red flag? Is that something that you want to stay away from? If I cherish that, but you know, you don't, is that a red flag, or is that something that you can put energy into helping another person grow into?
What do you mean cherish? Like,
okay, so what if, you know, my love language is servitude, but you know, my significant other might be more touch oriented and we're missing each other. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's one of those things that people not understanding each other's love language is a very huge deal. Do you think that it's worth the time and effort to help teach people your love language, or should they already come equipped with understanding your type of love language?
Excellent question. It's definitely worth the time and effort, especially if this is someone we have decided to do life with.
Okay.
Long-term commitment, marriage, whatever that, however you want to define that relationship.
Sure.
It's worth the time and effort to communicate to the person, listen, this is my language, or this is how I like to be loved, whether it's touch, whether it's communication, whether it's gifts, whatever that form is. And then also, those two individuals should desire to study their partner. I was just mentioning this in another episode, to study their partner. Like, if he or she is giving me information about how they like to be loved,
right,
I can't make it so much of a dependency to the point that I require you to always come tell me.
Sure.
At some point, I have to desire to study my partner. Okay, he told me that he likes to be loved this way. Let me study that so I can know all the intricate details about that without him having to come tell me every day or every week or every month, however many times you have to tell this person, but I'm studying him. Oh, okay, he likes that. I'm going to put forth effort to do that. And vice versa for the man. Oh, she likes that. I'm studying her. That studying part is so essential. That's where the work comes in.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't want to put in that work.
This is true. This is true.
He told me, she told me. Okay, what are you doing with the information that they told you?
Right.
Because here's what happens. If we decide to take the information, just go, okay, thank you for telling me. Time goes by, you do nothing with it.
Right.
Maybe he or she reminds you again, hey, blah, blah. You do nothing with it, time goes by. Now resentment, frustration.
Right.
I don't know if I want to be with her, be with him anymore, because I'm saying something that's not, it's not even like you're listening. You hear me, but you're not listening.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, we fell apart because he doesn't know how, she doesn't know how to communicate.
Right.
When in actuality, yes, there may have been a level of breakdown in communication, but there was also a level of breakdown in studying. Because we study for what we love.
Yeah.
We study things. If you want that particular type of, you're in the tea business.
Right.
If the customer desires a certain type of tea and they constantly coming in telling you, at some point you're gonna study that customer.
Sure.
And you're gonna go, okay, you know what? He or she does not like big scoops, they like a little bit of scoops. They like their water not hot, but just almost hot. Just a little bit warm, but not too hot. They like their tea sweet, but not too sweet, just a little dab of honey, not a big squeeze. You see that?
Right.
So, and there's a particular area in our life where we're studying something.
Right.
But when it comes to our relationship, this is where we start to fail in class.
Right.
And we show up late. Or we skip class and say, oh, you know, that, because familiarity has settled in. And that's just him. That's just her. And so now she wants to be touched, but all you do is bring her gifts and trinkets.
Okay.
And it means nothing. I just really want him to hold me when I'm at the kitchen washing the dishes or making a dish. I want him to come behind me and grab me and kiss me. But how would he know unless he was studying? She may have told him one time, but what did you even do with the information?
Yeah, that makes actually a lot of sense. I just wonder what are relationships, or what do people do when they find themselves in that weird crossroad where maybe I'm not paying as much attention to this person? Is that like, would you immediately go seek therapy, or would you like say, hey, let's just, let's do some couples exercises? Like, what are some good practices to find that sweet spot? Because I feel like, that's something easy to move out of on a regular basis. It's not like, you could have done it for the first 15 years of your marriage, and then, year 17, suddenly you're not doing it as much as you would like to. What are some suggestions you have as far as like getting back to that always willing to learn phase of for your partner? Yeah,
I can't stress this enough. The topic that I speak about, and it's probably going to be this entire, let me not put a time constraint on it, but the meeting again, because I had to live this, where I went through something with a partner. I was explaining this on another episode where I had to train my mind to meet them again as if it was the first time. Whether it's been 5 months, 5 years, 10 years, somewhere along the line, like we said, familiarity kicks in, and now it's like, okay, I'm not studying you how I used to study you.
Sure.
I have to meet you again. Because when I first met you, I did the bells and whistles for you. Mm-hmm. I went above and beyond for you.
Indeed.
The first 5 months, the first 5 years, I went all out for you.
It's true.
Now that we're 5 years in, I'm not doing everything that I did in the beginning. Because that's just him. That's just her. Right. I'm not studying the intricate details of how she liked the sprinkles on top of her ice cream. I'm not studying the beautiful places she liked to go.
Right.
I gotta meet you again every day as if it's a new day. Is that easy? No, because there's going to be days where you're like, I don't want to deal with you.
Sure.
But that's where you're putting forth that effort and commitment and training your mind like, nope, I'm gonna meet them again as if it was the first 5 months, the first 2 years. What did I do?
Wow.
That intentionality behind that. And it has to be mutual.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're doing it, it breaks something inside of your partner where they're like, man, he's loving on me like this is the first month we ever met.
Yeah.
But it does, and it's not easy, man, but it's meeting again. I have seen this bless so many couples, man, meeting again. And it came from the source where God was like, Jamel, every day you wake up, I look at you with new grace and new mercy, like it's a new day. What you did yesterday, last week, last month, few years ago, it's erased. I'm looking at you like you're a new person today. He said, I need you to do the same. And I'm like, whoa, that was a heavy weight, because I'm like, oh no. Because at that point in time, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, no, you don't understand what they did to me. You don't understand what happened. I need you to do it. It's going to take it. That's a whole nother level of love.
Yeah.
Where I'm meeting you again. Oh, man. It's beautiful, bro.
Oh, man. No, we got to get there. I think I've been there once before, and hopefully we can get back there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are all the questions I had for you today, and you did an amazing job answering them. I think, like I said, I only had them from the advantage of just looking on the internet and just seeing a lot of things that people are saying and just hoping that this could help some other people as well.
Listen, Victor, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. For those people that are listening and watching, where could they find your business?
Well, you can find me first on the website, transcendingtea.com. We're on Instagram if you want to check out some nice recipes, Transcending Tea. Or if you're in the Atlanta area, we're on Paces Ferry Road. Just look up Transcending Tea. It will come right up.
Well, there you have it, people. If you're single, dating, married, and you're looking to have tools to build and have a healthy relationship, tune into the Value TV show. I'm Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. Peace.